Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. You know how much we all love a good food delivery these days. So today we're taking a trip to India to explore their booming food tech scene. We're talking about a market already valued at $20 billion
Mhm.
and projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate over 16% over the next 5 years.
Yeah, so this isn't just some passing trend, it's a global shift
Yeah, exactly.
in how we think about food, driven by that need for convenience and personalization that tech offers.
Absolutely.
Crazy to think that ordering pizza on the phone feels practically ancient history now. We're
Yeah.
talking AI curating menus,
Right.
even restaurants that exist entirely online.
That's pretty wild.
To kick things off, let's talk Swiggy and Zomato. You know, the big players in Indian food tech.
Right. So Swiggy is currently valued at $12.7 billion. Investors are really confident in their plans to expand beyond just food delivery. They've already started moving into quick commerce with Instamart,
Mm.
delivering groceries and essentials. Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. So Zomato went public in 2021
Yeah.
and then acquired Blanket, which shows they're serious about instant delivery. It's such a dynamic market. It's interesting to see how these companies compete for dominance.
Yeah, their strategies are evolving all the time. Swiggy's tapping into that need for on-demand convenience, whereas Zomato's really focused on speed with Blinkit. Customers just want everything delivered faster and
It
faster.
is a race to see who can capture the most consumer attention and loyalty. It's not just about delivering food anymore, though, right?
Ugh.
Tech is transforming how we dine in at restaurants, too.
Absolutely. AI is being used in some really interesting ways to personalize menus and even pricing. Imagine going to a restaurant and the menu is adapting to your dietary needs,
Oh,
your past orders, even recommending dishes based on what's trending in your area.
wow, that's amazing. Like, it takes all the guesswork out of ordering, make sure you're presented with options that are tailored to you.
Exactly. And it goes even further. Some upscale restaurants are even using AI-powered pricing models, kind of like how airlines adjust ticket prices based on demand. So that popular Friday night reservation might cost you more than a Tuesday evening booking.
Huh, interesting. I mean, it makes sense for businesses,
Right.
optimizing revenue,
Right.
meeting demand. But it's wild to think that algorithms are influencing our choices,
Yeah.
even when it comes to dining out.
That's a really important point. These innovations definitely offer convenience and personalization. But we also have to be aware of how tech is shaping our choices and behaviors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of shaping choices, I read about this company called Pikky that's doing some really interesting stuff with personalization in the food space.
Oh, yeah. Pikky's a great example of using AI for hyper-personalized food recommendations. They consider things like your mood, dietary restrictions, even the weather to
Whoa.
suggest the perfect meal.
It sounds like they're trying to make choosing food as fun as eating it. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about those quick service restaurants, the QSRs, that have become such a big part of our lives.
Right. The QSRs have been really good at using technology to streamline their operations and meet those changing consumer expectations. Brands like Domino's, McDonald's, and
Okay.
Rebel Foods, the parent company of Fasos and Baruz Biryani, are really leading the charge there.
So they're using AI for everything, from optimizing kitchens to predicting demand to creating personalized offers. It's incredible how they're using data to improve efficiency, but also create a better experience for the customer.
And that focus on efficiency and data-driven customization
Sure.
is fueling the rise of those cloud kitchens too.
Oh yeah, cloud kitchens have definitely become super popular,
Mhm.
especially after the pandemic. Can you remind our listeners what a cloud kitchen is and why they've become so popular?
Sure, so cloud kitchens are sometimes called ghost kitchens. They're essentially restaurants without a storefront. They operate just for delivery. Relying on online platforms like Swiggy and Zomato to reach customers, it lets them reduce a lot of those overhead costs, like rent and staffing. It's a more agile approach, and it can be way more profitable.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's a really fascinating model. As delivery becomes more and more a part of our lives, it's interesting that Swiggy and Zomato are investing so much in cloud kitchens, even launching their own brands.
It's a smart move for sure. By owning their own cloud kitchen brands, these platforms have a lot more control over the whole process, from making the food to delivering it, which means potentially higher profits. But cloud kitchens are really just one part of the story, the food tech scene in India. It's constantly changing. And one of the biggest trends is toward what we call hyper-personalization.
Okay, hyper-personalization. That sounds pretty futuristic to me. Can you break that down? How does that work in the food world?
So imagine, your food app remembers your past orders, of course, but it can also predict what you're craving based on things like the weather, your mood, even your fitness data.
So if I'm having a rough day,
Mhm.
my app will suggest some comfort food. Or if I've been working out, it might recommend something lighter and healthier.
Exactly. It's all about creating a truly tailored dining experience. It's not just basic recommendations anymore. It's a much more intuitive and personalized interaction with food.
It sounds super convenient, but I do wonder about some of the implications. If an algorithm is curating all my food choices based on what it thinks I like, am I going to miss out on trying new things, expanding my culinary horizons?
That's a valid point. We have to be mindful of those potential filter bubbles. Just like social media algorithms can create those echo chambers of information, food apps could limit our exposure to new cuisines and
It's
experiences.
like if you always have that one friend who recommends the same restaurant every time because they know you like it,
Yeah,
but you might be missing out on some hidden gems.
that's a great analogy. It's all about balance. These platforms need to personalize without being too prescriptive. They need to cater to our preferences, but also encourage us to explore new flavors.
It's amazing to think about the potential, but also the challenges of AI in this context. Speaking of futuristic advancements, I heard that Swiggy and Zomato are experimenting with voice assistants for ordering.
Yeah, that's right. They're trying to make ordering even easier by integrating voice assistants. Imagine just saying, hey, AI, order my usual from whatever your favorite place is.
That would be so convenient.
Yeah.
No more scrolling through menus
Yeah.
or trying to remember what that dish was called. It could also be really helpful for people with disabilities.
Exactly. It could make food delivery so much more accessible for everyone.
As we get deeper into this world of personalized menus and AI assistants and cloud kitchens, it's clear that technology is changing our relationship with food in some really fundamental ways. It's
Yeah.
exciting. But it also brings up some important questions about the long-term implications.
Definitely. As food tech gets more and more advanced, it's crucial to consider the ethical and societal implications. We have to make sure these innovations benefit everyone.
Exactly. How do we protect data privacy as these platforms gather more and more information about our eating habits? And how do we prevent AI from encouraging unhealthy eating?
Those are critical questions. We need to be aware of potential biases in algorithms and work to make sure food tech is fair and accessible to everyone. It's all about using technology responsibly.
It's a lot to think about. It feels like we're at the beginning of a whole new era of food, where technology and taste buds collide. It's both exciting and a little daunting to think about all the possibilities and challenges ahead.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating time to be talking about food. We've covered so much in this deep dive, from those food delivery giants
Right.
like Swiggy and Zomato to the rise of those cloud kitchens and the potential of AI to really personalize our food experiences. I feel like we're only just getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what makes this area so exciting. We're seeing tech and those old culinary traditions coming together. It's creating a totally new landscape.
Absolutely. And with any big change, we have to consider what it all means.
Yeah, for sure.
So as we embrace the convenience and the personalization that technology offers, we need to be mindful of how it might impact our choices,
Yeah.
our health, even our cultural connections to food.
Yeah, it's a conversation we all need to be having.
Consumers, businesses, policymakers.
Exactly. Finding that balance is key. Making sure technology makes our food experiences better, not dictating them. We need to be aware of those algorithms and how they can create filter bubbles and make sure we're not missing out on all those different culinary experiences.
And of course, being careful with all that data
Absolutely.
is a good reminder that tech is just a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it could be used in good ways and bad ways. It's up to us to use it wisely
I agree.
to create a better food future for everyone.
More equitable, more sustainable, more delicious. It's so exciting to imagine what the next 10 years will bring. Will we have personalized nutrition plans from AI apps? Will VR dining become the norm?
The possibilities really are endless.
They really are.
That's what's so amazing about all this. It's a whole new culinary adventure.
Yeah.
And we're writing the ending as we go, as we wrap up this deep dive into India's food tech revolution. I want to leave you with a final thought.
What role do you see technology playing in your relationship with food over the next few years? Will you embrace those AI recommendations? Will you seek out immersive dining experiences?
The future of food is in our hands. Our choices today will shape what we eat tomorrow. So stay curious out there, stay informed, and most importantly, keep enjoying the journey.